Today we're going to have a side-by-side of my Cara IPA batch 2 and my batch 3. I'm going to go ahead and move the bottles out. If you have not, I will link a card up above so you can see the first tastings solo of these. I'm not going to go too much into the recipes on here. Again, you can go to that card and you can see the overall grain bill of these, but they are different. So there's two things that separate them. So the one on my left is using Crystal 40L malt, and the one on my right is using 60L malt. Now, the one on my right is also using SO4 yeast. That's the blue dry yeast packet. And the one on my left is using USO5. That is the red dry packet. So that's about it. If we look at them for head, obviously the 60 wins. They're both in 22-ounce bottles, 7 carbonation tablets apiece, and there's a better head on the 60L. Now, as far as ABV goes, the 40L version was 7.39%, and the batch 3 or 60L version was 6.16. So maybe because the Crystal 40 version had less sugar in it, it produced less carbonation, where the 6.16 version, the 60L, had more, and so the yeast could eat more, but you're also adding tablets, so maybe it has something, it was way too much sugar left in there, so that's why we got a better head. It didn't foam over or anything like that, so, but for this, for the head, I would have to go with the 60 or batch 3. For color, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell. If you look at the color, the one on my right, the 60L, is darker. It's a red orange, where the one on my left is a dark yellow orange. And even if I pick them up by the top, the color on the bottom is slightly different too. The haziness looks the same, so I don't know if it's that caramalt that's doing that, or the hop oils or something in the hops that are keeping these hazy. Because USO5 is clean, shouldn't really get anything from it, shouldn't really haze up a beer. So there has to be something in that that is doing that, and they're both doing it. So maybe it's the crystal malt. For the smell, let's go ahead and smell them. So smelling them, the 40 version has that slight caramel malt, but I'm getting like a citrus in there. Like a citrus fruit now. Yeah, so smelling them side by side is totally different than I think what I said in the reviews. So the 40, you're getting that sweet malt. There's some fruit citrus in there, real light fruit citrus. Now I think I'm getting the fruitiness, like a caramel fruit, which sounds kind of weird. Where on the 60, it's more of a grainy caramel citrus, grainy caramel malt citrus. And that could be from the yeast. I mentioned it in the 60L video. SO4 does give me more of a citrus flavor, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. But I am getting more of that malt smell profile from the 40, and maybe that SO4 has something to do with that. I would say it does, because I want to say I've had that before in some other beers, where it's like cut out the malt and brought in a little citrus. So let's go ahead and taste. You get that malt, that graininess, more citrus, like a grapefruit rind bitterness in the back as it goes down. It's light, but it should be lighter. There's not as much sugar. It's a little drier. And I'm just saying that because I've already done the reviews. Yeah, where the 60 version, you get a little sweet malt, but it's like that citrus overpowers a lot of it. There is some bitterness in there, but I also get a little bit of fruit. Lighter body, goes away pretty quick. There is some bitterness. I guess you could say they're almost the same in that category as the bitterness and the aftertaste. Almost like a grapefruit rind bitterness in there. Smooth though. I think both of them are smooth. Yeah. Yeah, drinking them side by side, you can definitely tell the batch 2 version is lighter. It's not as heavy. But I would think I would want that 60L beer to be a little heavier since it's a little darker, more roasted malts in there. So I would expect that to be the heavier beer. But I would also expect it to be the higher ABV for whatever reason. And in this case, it's not. I think in this one, I would have to go with the 40, how it's done right here. I don't know why I chose SO4 for the 60. I wish I would have done the USO5 to see if it would have ate through a little bit more, got the ABVs a little bit closer, and if we got more of that caramel malt out of there like we do the 40. And I am not sure why I didn't do that. Because batch 1, let me see what batch 1 was supposed to be. Nope. So that doesn't help. But yeah, on this one, I would have to go with the 40L version. I will be doing this again with the same yeast so we can try and get them at the same ABV. Also taste them after a month. What I was doing, because there were Crystal 40 and Crystal 60, I wanted them to be more winter beers that had a little heavier malt syrup taste. That's why I let them set. But I wanted to use hops from like an IPA that you would drink fresh to see what it did over time. Because if somebody bottles something like this and can't drink it all, it could last 4 months, 5 months. So that's why I wanted to do this. So yeah, we'll do it again next month with these two, or I'll review them. I don't know if they'll be out in a month, and go from there. But yeah, on this one, 40L wins. So if you like this video, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.